agreeing to do this interview today, and my thanks also to Olga for the hospitality which you've extended to me.
Any way we can help you, Peter, is fine.
And maybe you could tell us just briefly where you were born, when you were born, where you were educated, and go straight through to the point when you enlisted into the AIF.
Well, that's pretty easy. I was born on the 31st of March 1919. I don't remember this particularly clearly, but that's when it was born, because I was sick at the time. My mother was in hospital when I was born. I lived in Mount Street at Coogee until I was a child, about 1 or 2 years of age, when they moved to Haberfield. I grew up in Haberfield, went to Haberfield Public School, and from there I went on to Fort Street High School. Walked across the Sydney Harbour Bridge the day it was opened. School children were told they were not to march, they had to break step. I remember this very clearly, because they said if every school child was in step, the bridge would have collapsed with the impact of the left, right, all occurring at the same time. I subsequently found that in the army it was a very difficult thing to get 100 men to keep step rather than 200,000 school children, but that is some years later. But I worked at Dunlop Rubber Company at Carey Street, Mooring, which is now the, I forget the name, big shopping centre. There was a man named Lou Anaviti who used to come to work wearing a very smart uniform. One day I said to him, Lou, what's the strength of this uniform you wear to work? He said, oh, he said, I'm in the militia. He said, he was a pretty smart looking bloke too. He had a hat with feathers in the top of it, and, leggings, blue uniform, blue tunic with riding breeches, and spurs on his boots. I thought, God, you could win some sailors with a gear like that, couldn't you? So I said, how do you get into this army business, Lou? And he said, he gave me the instructions, and I immediately joined up, became a sapper in the 2nd 12th Field Company Engineers, because they were a horse-mounted unit. I was mounted on horse riding as a kid, and I found that I could get a horse to ride and them paying me for it, so I thought that was a good deal.
Now you've enlisted into the militia and you've actually gone, is that the point when you joined the AIF too, or do you know that?
Yes, I was in camp at Wargrove. It was the first time that they had a cavalry camp since World War II. Full cavalry camp when war broke out, and some of our fellows raced on madly and joined up the 6th Division. I didn't. I wasn't so excited as they were. The conclusion of the camp was a 3-month camp, and I got very madly again with the horses. There was Parramatta Lancers with the Star Boys up there at that time. And subsequently, anyhow, a lot of things happened at that time, but I joined up the AIF with 3 mates. We all had consecutive annex numbers, and that was would have been in May to June 1940. I'm not sure of the exact date, but the 4 of us joined together. We were all in the same unit, 2nd 12th Field Company Engineers, and we were all sappers, which was a good start.
So where did you, you must have started doing some training in preparation for something, you didn't know what it was going to be.
Well, we'd been in the militia for probably 2 or 3 years.
Yes.
And joining up the AIF put us, we were experienced soldiers, because the recruits were coming in and didn't know the first thing about it. And we used you had to fill in the sick report forms and all the other bits and pieces. We knew what the order room meant, and we knew the terminology, which to the incoming sapper or private, he had no idea. We had to teach him everything, and I was a lance corporal straight away.
Mm-hmm. And when did you prepare to go overseas, and did you know where you were going to be going?
Yeah, well, we had all our training camps. We went through, started off at Liverpool camp, moved from Liverpool up to Bathurst,
Bathurst.
Liverpool to, forget the name, just up the road out from Liverpool. From there he moved across to Bathurst and we embarked from the troop train coming down from Bathurst in the middle of winter. I was bloody glad to get away from Bathurst. Troop train down to Darling Harbour and on ferries out to the convoy we were going to go away. And we sailed on the Johann van Olden Barneveld, a Dutch liner. Lovely ship, except the bloody food on it was crook. The food was dreadful. But, we sailed out from Sydney Harbour on the 29th of July, picked up the Marnix, St Aldegon off Melbourne. We joined the convoy. We were under the HMAS Hobart, took us round to Fremantle. And at Fremantle we got shore leave, 24 hours, no, back by midnight, I'm sorry. I was AWL, got back at 2:30. Won't go into the details of that one, but had a bit of success. And the convoy sailed a couple of days later, and joined by another troop ship named the, what was the third one? The name eludes me for the minute. It was a smaller, much smaller ship. The Johann and the Marnix were sister ships. They were about 22,000 tonnes. Sailed, arrived at Singapore without stopping anywhere, from Perth to Singapore. And we got there on the 15th of August 1941. 1941.
So what barracks did you go into then?
I went into a barracks at Johor Bahru, and then the unit was broken up into our sections. One section went up to out on the east coast. Forget the name, but it wasn't my section. I was in number 2 section. Went up country to Kluang. Number 3 section stayed in headquarters at Johor Bahru, and that's where we stayed and did jungle training, such as it was. I can't think of number 1 section. Arthur Watchorn was in number 1 section. He was the loot. Archie Campbell was the loot of my section. He was a New Zealander, but enlisted in Australia. Great bloke. They were all great blokes. Anyhow, we did our jungle training, well, such as it was, mainly in the rubber plantations, learning how to put trucks through between the rubber trees, and yeah, it was a comfortable little life set up there. Kluang was the place where one of my early misdemeanours, where I went into town, into the village with Wally Cullinan. He was a corporal, so was I at this stage, and we saw a Chandu shop. Chandu, never knew what Chandu was, but went inside to find out what Chandu was, and we found it was opium. So, devilment, of course, we said we had to have a go at this, which we did. And I went to sleep in this Chandu shop and had the most wonderful dreams for about 2 to 3 hours, and woke up and felt exhilarated. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So was Wally. And we went back to camp and we felt euphoric for about 2 or 3 days, and we said we have to go back and have another go at that stuff. And I told Wally, I said, oh, it's so good I better not do it again. It taught me at an early stage of life how indictive, not indictive, inaddictive drugs can be.
Yes.
It was my first and only experience. Great.
Now, when you were there, did you appreciate that there was something likely to occur with the Japanese, or did you just think you were having an easy time?
Easy time. The thing that puzzled us when we were on an aerodrome out at Kahang, which is out from between Kluang and Mersing on the east coast. The aerodrome there, we were in bivouac out there for some reason. The thing surprised us that the